Good morning, Twitch, and hello, YouTube as well. I'm glad everyone's tuning in and checking this out today, and I'm really excited to look at reveal my new project, which is codename Dragon's Claw, which is awesome sounding. So, a little story to tell you. About a month ago, I was ready to get back into streaming, carry on with my Deathless runs that I do on the channel. And I had to go into self-isolation, which was annoying, because it meant I couldn't do the streaming as I had another kid around, and the two don't go well together. So, as I was a bit bored, not that much to do, decided to learn how to code with Game Maker Studios 2. One thing led to another. A month ago, didn't know the difference between a variable and a function, but sat down, learnt it, carried on after that, and started making my own little game. And here I am. So, before we get into it, a little bit of backstory about the actual world we're going to be delving into. In the country of Draconis, there has been, after 10 years of peace with all of the neighbouring factions, all four of them that border the country, suddenly there's an uprising. The king is slain. The princess is locked in a dungeon, and the actual attack has not come from one of the foreign countries, but from within. The second in command has stabbed the king, killed him, locked away the princess, and overtaken the country. It's led to chaos and riots. So, one rebel faction of the army has stuck by the king and wants to return the princess to the throne, get her her superpowers, and the superpowers. Get her her birthright back as control of the country for the protection of the people. So, without further ado, we're going to be entering as the commander has, with her army, attacked the fortress, the dungeons and the dungeons within. Most of her army was killed along the way, but she managed to sneak into the actual dungeon to come and save the princess. So, I'm going to start this. I'm going to go through this slowly, so instead of rushing through the game. But this is still a big work in progress, and thank you all for tuning in. If you've got any questions on Twitch, put them in the chat, and I can answer them at the end. For all YouTube questions, I'm happy to answer them in the comments. If you have any feedback, just let me know as and when. There is still some gapingly big issues, and that's quite obvious, such as camera control and doors and things like that, which is still a work in progress. But this is where it stands at the moment, and it's actually in a working state. So, without further ado, let's get into this. So, Commander Sam has just entered the dungeons. It is not the prettiest game at the moment, that is still to be working on. So with the commander, we can move left and right. And as we get through, we got enough power to jump. Jumping is fun. Now we've got a double jump as well. So press it again, we get a little double jump. No triple jump, just double. Now we've got fireballs to dodge. Even though I've designed the game, I'm a bit pants at it, truth be told, so stick with me, please. Obviously, there is still some issues, such as the doors. That is still to be worked on. However, if we go through one door, I want it so one's in the background and one's in the foreground. We also have a little dash as well. There's an issue there. Why does that come up again? So, if I press down, we've got a little dash, teleport, which I just love. And as we come down, we have a trap to dodge. And our first enemy. Ignore the things at the top that shouldn't be happening, but it is. So if we aggro the enemy, it will come at us and throw these slime balls. But if we come up, press down, we get to go invisible. And after a couple of seconds, he loses track of us and doesn't know where we are. And there, ignore the names over the doors and the numbers for the moment, and the reputation. I'll go into that in 2 secs. And here is our princess, /player2. Now, the game is designed to be played either multiplayer or single player. So, as it just popped up and it's probably just disappeared, the princess is going to be controlled with A and D, whereas commander is with the arrow keys. At the moment, she kind of sucks. Oh, I forgot to say as well, the health is represented by the length of the banner. So at the moment, she has very little health compared. She doesn't have a double jump. Her throwing knives are shorter. Well, they should be. Yeah, that's not really obvious right now. But it is designed to be played as 2 people. However, as you can see, there's some numbers above the doors. So let's go and explore these doors first. As I said, I suck at the game, even though I designed it. So, these are doors for the 4 factions, i.e. the 4 countries that surround Draconis as a country. This is the Dwarn. The Dwarn are the mountainous tribe from the north who focus on defence and protection. They put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat to outlast their enemies. To increase your reputation with this faction, you complete missions by getting hurt as little as possible. So as I completed that in that tutorial, that mission to get to here, I gained reputation with the Dwarn because I did it without getting hurt, or hurt very little. If you increase your reputation with the Dwarn, Princess Rowana's maximum health will increase. So the idea is going to be the way you want to play makes her stronger in particular ways, such as if you play defensively and don't get hurt, your maximum health will increase and help you play that playstyle. So the Dwarn are allies with the Furlay, who we'll get into in a second, providing protection and fortification for them when they require. The Dwarn are enemies of the Shargile, who again we'll get to, as they keep attacking the Dwarn settlements for an unobservable reason. That should be an, not on. I threw all the text together yesterday, so it might be a little bit rough. As with the commander, she has an attack, and if you stand still, they both do a physical attack. Different enemies are weak to different things, such as a throwing knife might kill one enemy outright, whereas an actual attack won't, and vice versa. So let's move on to the Shargile. The aquatic folk from the Great Lake in the west, the Shargile, focus on speed and attacking enemies first. So these are the warring faction with the Dwarn. They strike their enemies fast and hard and destroy them before they have a chance to respond. So they attack quick, they hit, they hurt, and then they get out of there basically. Let's get you up first. To increase your reputation with the Shargile, complete missions as fast as possible. So if you want to speedrun the game, charge through, you'll get the reputation with them. And in turn, once the reputation goes up, they'll increase the dash distance. So at the moment, it's lower than the commanders. Let's try and keep them together. As you can see, she falls behind. But if you want to go down the speed route, that will increase. The Shargile respect the Vipax as they strike their enemies first. And as I said before, the Shargile see the dwarves as cowards hiding in their fortifications. They are not friendly with them at all. So, before we go on to the other 2 races, as you can see, I I didn't do it fast in the first instance. That's why that is falling behind a little. I haven't got any reputation with them. But I do have the one with the Dwan because I didn't take that much damage. And there's a total reputation counter here, which should have popped up text there. There is definitely, this was all working yesterday, if you can believe that. As the total reputation increases, there will be an increase in the double jumps. At the moment, it is when you get to 5 reputation, you will get a double jump. When you get to 15, it will be a triple jump. So, as the game progresses, instead of being not as good as a commander, she's going to become essentially better than. It's going to be like a... But my idea was Aiko with the princess following, and the princess is always rubbish, getting captured. But then I wanted it to the princess more being the protective over the main player, basically, instead of vice versa. Builds up over time. So before we go into these two rooms, I'm just going to do one more mission which I've programmed in, and this should run as many times as you want to increase your factions. So on this one, I'm going to attack and kill. Now while they're together, you can see that little healing. That will heal both players at the same time. As you can see, the throwing knives aren't doing the greatest of damages. However, against this one, it kills them outright, whereas the physical attack shouldn't. Again, those tutorial things are coming up, and they shouldn't be. Let's take out the fireball creator, and let's get over there. Whereas against them, the physical attack is what kills them outright, whereas you saw before, it takes, I think it's 3. However, we can also just, missed both of that, teleport through. However, they're both aggroed at the moment. Ah, rats. Hate them. Right, I'm getting hit a lot here. However, if you work together, one can aggro. I am using one. Alright, one has gone down already. As I said, I'm not the greatest with this. So, the princess has gone down. Take out the rats. And I'm going to leave the princess for the time being and come over here. As I said, I need to sort the camera out, but she can't go through the door without the princess. She's not going to leave the princess behind. So let's take out the rest of the enemies. Heal up. And head through. So, my reputation with the Dwan has stayed the same, because I took damage quite a lot through that, as you notice. Shy Girl has remained 0. Because I didn't do it quickly, I was really slow with it. And we have our other 2 factions. So, let's head into the Furlay. The Furlay, from the jungles to the east, are a peaceful race by nature. They want to preserve life and heal anything that is hurt, no matter the wound. They are the healers of the forest. To increase your reputation with the Furlay, complete missions without harming any enemies. As soon as you hit an enemy, they're not going to like that. If you increase your reputation with them though, they'll teach you how to heal each other faster. Which, well, I think goes without saying, is very useful. The Furlay are allies with the Dwarn, providing them with healing salves when required. And they are enemies of the Vipax who want to kill different creatures. And let's head into the opposing faction of Vipax. Easy to run this way. That was not where I wanted to go. Maybe that has already triggered that. Good start. So the Vipax, as you can see, these are just put in for flavour at the moment. The entire thing is going to be built up into different characters in here, the prisons, different information pieces. However, the Vipax are from the desert village of the south and believe in the cycle of life and death. They strike their enemies when they least expect it, primarily with throwing weapons from a distance. To increase your reputation with the Vipax, defeat unnatural enemies. So enemies that wouldn't appear in the natural world. For example, the rats are rats, that's fine. If we come across giant rats, that doesn't make sense. So they want them sort of things dead because they've been created by some supernatural means or unnatural means. If you increase your reputation with the Vipax, it will increase the princess's throwing knife damage. Distance, not damage. The Vipax are friends of the Shargile, as they have the same beliefs about the cycle of life and death. The Vipax hate the Furlay as they prolong the natural existence of life, so they will try and correct this. So you can see the two different factions here. One of them trying to protect life and trying to heal it as much as possible, and the other believing in the cycle of life and death. So it's kind of up to you which one you want to follow in this one. You won't be able to follow both of them, as one requires you to kill and one requires you to not kill. So it is entirely up to you. So let's do this now by not killing anything and getting through this as fast as possible. So I'm not worried about life. We'll get hit, I get hit. Oops. Alright, that one's failed. I pressed it to jump. This is going wrong. Alright, I'm just going for as fast as possible now. I am rubbish at actually multitasking. Oh, come on, what are you doing? Oh, no! Alright. As far as a show goes, this is... this is going horribly wrong and I might just die here. Yep, I died. Okay, let's run through this again. It has reset me to the beginning. At the moment there isn't any sort of reset function built in. If both of the characters die, it does reset. So, I'll run through this as fast as possible. And not kill the unnatural enemy, which is a blob. There is still the problem of getting through there. I've increased reputation with the Shargile, because I did it really, really fast. I've increased reputation with the Furlay, because I didn't kill anything. However, I did take damage, a sizable chunk of damage as well from that sword, so the Drawn reputation doesn't increase. And the Vipax. So this is the state of the game so far. It's definitely a work in progress, but it is more the concept I was looking at of one player being able to control two characters. And it, as I said, I'm rubbish at it, but I imagine people being good at this. So it is in a usable state right now, and if you do want to QA test it, it's totally happy for you to try it out, whether it's on your own or with someone else. I'm going to run through this once, hopefully not die. Now, and there's still the issue of getting hit after. Right, now I've got reputation of 5, she has a double jump. When that gets to 15, she'll have a triple jump, which I'm very excited for, and I really want to, as well as this sort of political nature of the reputations with the different factions, it is going. I'm hoping to have some sort of negative influence as well. So if you do something that they don't like, it will decrease the reputation. But I also want it to be a heavily story-based game. Still a lot of work to do with the text and stuff, because honestly I only started putting in yesterday, including all of like the reputation coming up and things like that. I'm going to have signs above the doors instead of just text that's just been thrown on there very quick. So I do want it as a heavy story-based game, as in regards to the factions and getting to know all the different factions and what they believe in and things like that. So I'd very much like to hear your thoughts and feedback on the game and ways you think it could be improved, things that you like about it, just whatever you can think of, really. I'm going to shoot this off to the questions. So, close this off and go to that one. So, hey everyone that has joined. I do see there's quite a few people, so thank you very much for joining. Game debut, yeah, well, I wish it was an actual debut of it. As I said, it's very much a work in progress, and there's a lot of work to still be going on it. So, more hype for this than Cyberpunk 2077. Wow, that's too much hype to live up to. I can't lie. Always with the princess, yes it is. But as I said, I don't want it to be generic princess or being captured by Bowser and defenseless and waiting for a hero. I want that hero to come, but then I want that princess to become powerful and actually become more powerful than the person who's just saved her, essentially. It's kind of the idea. I wanted it to be this flip effect of, you're here to save me, yes, but now I've got to save you, I've got to protect you, I've got to look after you. Being the dynamic of the two characters I want to go with is, at first the commander is there to protect the princess, but as the princess grows and develops, she becomes the lead instead of the one that's being protected. Decisions made early game are going to be specifically from the commander's point of view, because she's the one that's in charge at the time. But as the princess develops, she takes on more of a leadership role. And even though they disagree on some things, such as whether to go out of their way to defeat an enemy that will save people, the commander's primary goal will be to save the princess, whereas the princess's primary goal will be to save the populace, save the people, build up relationships with the foreign countries. Even though they're just factions of that are in prison by the country themselves, they are there to. That is the start of this relationship building between these factions. I want it building up in the long term like this. So, yeah, you're right. As you said, it's always with the princess, but the princess is going to become powerful. She's going to become something to a formidable foe for their enemies. It does move like Super Meat Boy in a way, yeah, and I do see where it's coming from. I wanted that fast-paced action gameplay. However, I don't have a fast mind, and I have the fast mind, but doing two things at once. It was like I tried to learn playing the piano at one point. I could do everything with this hand, I could do everything with that hand, but try and do them at the same time. And I was like, So, but I know other people will be brilliant at it. It's weird. I'm playing a game. I'm designing a game that I'm not going to be great at, but other people will. Most game designers, I played against Bungie and Halo 3 back in the day, and they were wildly average. It's probably true, yeah. Deathless speedrun, I will try a Deathless run of it when it's all created and finished. I'll be looking forward to it. Rodents of a natural size, I know that's never been in a video game before, it's crazy, isn't it? But I did want that definition of differentiation between the natural enemies and the unnatural. Guards, for example, the shield guard that you saw, and a sword guard that's going to be coming down the line, they're natural things. A guy wielding a sword, but slimes and blobs, it just doesn't make sense, really. 10 out of 10, better than Cyberpunk. Well, I haven't even seen Cyberpunk yet, so at least I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, probably get the full release before Cyberpunk is released. Okay, can you make it so the characters are in front of the doors rather than behind? Some of the doors I want them to be in front of, some of them I want them to be behind of, but the doors I still need to edit so they're kind of transparent, so you can kind of see through them and see what's going on behind them. That is, it's not hard to do, honestly. It's something I just need to do. A lot of this was, yes, I have these. Basically, everything up until the beginning of the week has all been worked in a test room. So it has just been the one test room. I can even pull it up on the screen if you give me 2 seconds. Yeah, it's been one test room where I've been putting a blob in. 2 blobs to see how they react with each other. A shield guard, and same with 2 shield guards, just to make sure the shields are staying on them. We've had many issues in the past going from shields sticking to other enemies and things like that. and then they're running off with their shields and things like that, which was quite amusing, but annoying at the same time. So until the beginning of the week, I didn't have any sort of game. It was just a level that we're running around and killing things in. So now I've started putting together rooms and strings of rooms and building doors and things like that. Other errors have popped up, which still need to be addressed. The camera being one of them. As you saw, it was always following Commander Sam, but Princess Rosanna could be off the screen. You couldn't find her, and it's something I need to look into and address, how to increase the size of the camera as they zoom out, as they get apart from each other. In the past, it's just been, as I said, the test room, which you can see the entire test room in. So that's something that's popped up as I've been building. Same with the doors. If I put it back onto this screen, that is not the right screen. You can see that the doors are there. There's two different types of doors, one front, one back, and the doors spawn over them. So it's just something I have to go and find out and sort out. I'll show you the test room that we're messing everything with. You can see all of the stairs stuff on here and all the tutorial stuff popping up, of which I noticed there was problems with in that. And this is the test room I've been playing in. Just making sure like making sure stairs work and not getting caught on the top of them, making sure all the enemies are working fine. We've just been playing around with this with me and some of the foster kids have been helping me test. As I said, if anyone wants to try it out and test it, I can send this model right now to you. You can try it out. Totally happy with that. So if I run into it, just had a question there. I have done a shit ton of work. Yes, thank you very much for that. That is not what I want to press. So I'll show you the knockback. What am I doing? As I said, I'm terrible at doing two things at once, and that does include speaking and doing. So the spikes over here, as you hit them, they'll knock you back. So they won't just continually deal damage, but also I wanted to get away as much as possible from having HUD and numbers and just stuff around the screen, because in my opinion that's just ugly. There are other ways of doing it, such as Journey, for example, with the cape. That's the influence of that, actually. I say that. There was a friend that said I should do this instead of having numbers in the corner of the screen. But it does a little... every time you get hit, you get knocked back. So you can just spam that when on the ground. It only works once when in the air. As I said, I'm rubbish at the game myself, and I forgot there was even fireballs there, even though I've run this room so many times. But yeah, like this one, it'll be faded door at the front, so there is a feeling that you're going through a door instead of just a door at the back, then a door at the back. Otherwise, it'll feel like this infinite loop of a circle going through a door and appearing at a door, etc. I hope you see where I'm coming from for that. So we can dash through that, avoiding damage. If we want to de-aggro this, we hide. And both players have aggro ranges as well, so we can aggro. Let's heal up, and you can use one person to aggro and lure them in, and the other person is like a trap. We did it with a test room where there's a little ledge. One person lured one of the shield guards to the left, the other person dropped down, attacked him from behind. But yeah, as I said, the actual concept of the way you play basically makes it easier to play the way you want to play. See, one lured, one coming from behind, took the kill. You can't see. Okay. Right, you're lured, kill from behind, heal up. So that is the game as is. I'm going to close that down, and I hope you enjoyed the show. As I said, if you've got any questions, I'll happily answer any questions. I'm forgetting my hotkeys now. I'm trying to do it from down there. There we go. So yeah, if you've got any questions, you can either drop them in the chat, or we can you can drop them into the YouTube comments, and I can answer them there. Yeah, if anyone wants to be a QA tester, let me know. I'll send you a copy, and you can give honest feedback. I would very much like honest feedback. Like, if there's anything you think I can improve on, there's anything, anything that's working well. Yeah, just let me know. So we got Ask Divine Orchard. Okay, I've never actually. I think I've played with Divine Orchard in the Among Us ones. So, any thoughts for a reminder of how much health you have? You don't have to run to check your health. At the moment, it is just the moving. It is the only way I can really think of to. Well, my knowledge of the coding is still very limited, so the length of the banner while moving is something I can do really, really easily. Keeping the banner still while not moving, I don't know. It could be something. It's something I'd have to really think about. For example, if it falls behind and just stays behind, just so you can see it on a regular basis. I definitely see where you're coming from with that, because when you stood still, you can't see how much health you got, and it does make sense. Oh right, I was thinking. I thought it meant Godzilla then, but if you're thinking of people that can playtest, I get what you mean. It's like, why do you think I should put Godzilla in the game or something? That's what I thought for a split second. Could have the bandana flutter out and occasionally then fall back down. So that's what I'm thinking, adding in later on, so you can see it while you're still, because that is a gaping hole in logic. Yeah, well, I'm hoping it gets to early access. I mean, as I said, it is a pet project. If it just becomes nothing in the end, then yeah, but I'll just release it for free and everyone can have a play with it. But hopefully, I'm hoping it can be early accessible later on. Just as I said, that's way down the line, even early access right now. But it's QA testing really, just people that can give honest feedback about it. That has blanked out a big word, Ribena. I blank cannot play dungeon side scrollers. Oh, it says on there though, weirdly. That's strange, it doesn't come up on mine. I absolutely. Why is it blanked out absolutely? I absolutely cannot play dungeon side scrollers. Strange. Any thoughts on hidden areas that will be discovered as you unlock triple jump and such? The triple jump is I want to be used as a progression in the story and a progression within the dungeons themselves. It's going to be a very large prison with many different areas. The next area I want to put in is going to be the sewers to actually get out of this, out to the cell area. Sneak through the sewers and then open the door to the main area, so you don't have to go through the sewers every time. Thinking very Metroidvania on the castle design itself, but as you go through, the missions will will increase the amount of missions available. But the triple jump area is going to be more a progression. Over on the other side, the hidden areas, there is definitely going to be hidden areas without a doubt. Secrets around. I'm looking at doing quite a few different bits for that. Again, ideas though. If you come up with any ideas about what can be rewarded from secrets, I'm thinking maybe HP ups and things like that, even though that's a dwarven thing. Maybe some Commander Carter's upgrades maybe as we go through. Although I do want to keep Commander Carter's at a reasonably stable level, because as I said, I want the princess to overtake her in the end. Yeah, this will be uploaded to YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, pop it onto the YouTube comments. Totally happy to answer there. Thank you all very much for supporting it. And if anyone wants to drop me a message to be sent a zip file with all the stuff in, it will not have viruses in. Honest, it will. It'll have like an install for the game as is. I'll send across a README as well for controls, including room reset and game reset buttons. As you saw, I just pressed F1 to reset the game and start back from scratch. It'll have all the controls in. The one thing I do want testing as well, because I'm working on one computer and one keyboard, how does it work on other keyboards such as laptops and things like that? If anyone wants to try that out, totally happy with it. So thank you all very much for tuning in, and I'm hopefully back to be regularly scheduled Deathless streams very soon. Thank you very much. Bye.